Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. We're here today with the news that everyone wants to hear, and that is Cricut Print and Cut is now in larger sizes. So this is one example, and I am going to make a project with this, and this is on an 11 by 17 tabloid sheet of paper. Now I'm going to give the maximum sizes and tell you a few tips and tricks because the maximum size doesn't always apply. You do need a little bit of room in these corners, so you will want to watch the entire video, especially if you have a large format printer and you want to print these huge sizes. So what am I going to make? I'm going to make a little paper gift box. So you can make larger gift boxes, and this is all one piece of paper printed and cut on a Cricut Maker. Remember, you will need a Cricut Maker series or Explore series for this, as the Cricut Joy does not do print and cut. So let's dive right into Cricut Design Space and take a look at the new, larger print and cut sizes. And I do want you to remember, as of the filming of this video, this is only in beta Design Space. So you will need to change your Design Space over to beta. It will be live to everyone before very long. So if you're watching this video later, perhaps it's already on your Design Space application. So let's head to Design Space and take a look at the process for larger print and cut sizes. So I have an example on the screen of a print and cut image just for illustration purposes. Now, first of all, the larger print cut, as of the filming of this video, is only in the beta version of Cricut Design Space. They will be rolling out the update later, but if you don't see these larger sizes that I'm about to show, you would click the three lines in the upper left-hand corner, go to Settings, then under the General tab, make sure you're on beta here and not live. That should give you the larger print and cut sizes. So now let's take a look at how this works. So you can resize your image to anything you would like it to be. And if I resize that and get this error button over here, now I can click it and I can do two different things. Let's look at change paper size first. So if I click on change page size, you'll see that there are a variety now of print and cut paper sizes. Now, whatever one you pick, you will be able to have to use in your printer, and not all printers will accept all paper sizes. So right now we have A4, letter 8.5 by 11, legal 8.5 by 14, tabloid 11 by 17, and A3 paper. So for any of those, let's say my printer takes letter size paper, can pick letter size paper and click done. And now I can actually click this button and auto resize the image. Now, if you'll notice, my dimensions are unlocked. However, the auto resize does not change the proportions. So the length and the width change at the same time. So this is not actually the maximum that we can fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. For 8.5 by 11, I can actually go to 7.44 by 9.94. And you can see that I still do not have an error button over here. What happens if I want to make this larger, print on a larger sheet of paper, but I don't want to wait for the error to appear in Cricut Design Space? Again, you can click the three lines in the corner, click Settings, and this time go to the Load Type tab. This pulls up that same screen, and once again, we can change paper sizes. Now, the printer I have, I can print an 11 by 17 sheet of paper, so I'm going to click that and click Done. Now I can resize this to dimensions that would work with my 11 by 17 sheet of paper. Again, I could use the auto resize option, or I could use the width and height tabs up at the top to get to the maximum size. So let's go over the maximum size that I found for each size sheet of paper. For 8.5 by 11, it was 7.44 by 9.94 inches. For 8.5 by 14, 7.44 by 12.94 inches. 11 by 17, 9.94 by 15.94 inches. A4, 7.2 by 10.62 inches. A3, 10.64 by 15.44 inches. So you can see, even on that 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, used to be our only option, it is bigger than it ever has been. So print and cut, regardless of the size your printer will print, has gotten larger. Now, if you have those larger printers that can print an 11 by 17 sheet of paper, you're in luck. You can print huge prints now right out of Cricut Design Space. So now let's click Make It in this case and take a look at what has changed after you click Make It. Once I click Make It, you can see that first of all, I have picked an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. That means I'm going to need my 12 by 24 mat. So you would need the larger mat for those larger sheets of paper. And then you can see that the registration marks have changed. It used to be that there was a box all the way around your design. Now you'll see there are 4 registration marks in each of the 4 corners. Now when you change to this, you will need to recalibrate your Cricut machine the first time you use this new version of Print and Cut. You do want to keep that in mind and maybe save some extra time for that first project. So now I have a small image and I want to use this to make several stickers. First of all, let's change to an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper because that's the most common sheet of paper that people use. So we'll go to Settings, Load Type, and we will go to 8.5 by 11. And I think that's common for most sticker papers. Then we'll go ahead and click Make It. You can see we have the 4 registration boxes in the corner. Now let's say I want to fill my sheet up with stickers. We can do several project copies and click Apply. And in this case, 6 stickers will fit per sheet. So I'm going to change this to 6 and click Apply. So you can see in this case, the stickers lay out relatively well and I'm not wasting much sticker paper. Let's look at a different sticker and an alternative to making a sticker sheet. So let's say we had this image, we wanted to make a sticker sheet. If we click Make It and do it in the same way as we did before, let's say 6 copies and click Apply. Because of the shape of the sticker, we might find that we could rearrange this a little better. Now you can move these stickers around right on this screen. So that's another way to maximize your Print and Cut size. And the red dotted lines that you can see here, they won't print, but they are a guide for you. So that's your printable area. So I can't move this sticker too close to that registration box. It'll just pop back down within the red lines. So do keep that in mind. However, I could rearrange them on this screen and I could see if I could fit any more stickers onto a sheet. So that's another option for maximizing your Print and Cut. The other option to get a visual of your page is to put a square onto your canvas. I like to turn it to white and then make it that maximum Print and Cut size. So in this case, that would be 7.44 by 9.94 inches. And now I could lay these butterfly shapes out by moving this square to the back. Then I could duplicate the shapes, lay them out on the page, and even make a few that are smaller than this to make a full sticker sheet. So let me keep duplicating these and moving them around and make a sticker sheet I like. So now I have several butterflies on this paper. Looks like it's going to fit. I can go ahead and delete the rectangle itself off. Then I can choose all of my stickers and click Attach. So now we can see that Cricut Design Space is saying this is too large. Why is that? The same reason we talked about where those corners take up some of the space after you click Make It with the butterfly shapes we had before. The same thing applies here. So we need room for the corners on each of the sides. So although the maximum size is 7.44 by 9.94, that's only if you have a shape similar to that cross that we saw at the beginning. If you have something where it will go all the way to the corners, however, the maximum Print and Cut size is smaller. So you would need to resize this, and I'm just going to resize it slightly. And now I have something that I can make with my Cricut machine. And now that I click Make It, you can see what I'm talking about, and that you needed room for these squares. So the maximum sizes are actually just in the center, up and down, and the center left to right. So when you're thinking about your sticker sheets, you will need to think about leaving room in the corners or making them a little bit smaller so that they fit within these corner markings. So do keep that in mind when you're designing your projects. So now that we've kind of looked at the new Print and Cut features, let's make a project. So I have uploaded a design, and it's a large design that's going to fold into and make a gift box. So when I pull this into Cricut Design Space, you can see that it is very large. but we want it to fit on that 11 by 17 sheet of paper. And it is kind of a cross shape, so we can make it that maximum size. So we're going to click it and we're going to make it the maximum at 9.94 in one direction. I am going to leave the dimensions locked so I don't change the dimensions that much. So now it will fit within my maximum print and cut size, and because it's kind of a cross shape, I can make it really, really large. And now I need to change that paper size, so we'll click change paper size, and I have 11 by 17 paper for my printer, and we'll click done. So now I have a really large box shape, and I can do a print and cut. And I did want to note something here. I've designed this box shape here. You can get it for free, and I will drop a link below to where you can get the file. However, I just went ahead and printed the score lines in this case because you do need to pull it in as a print and cut object. At this point in time, I could go through and add score lines with the shape feature and draw them right over the lines on my screen and add scoring to my box. I'm just going to score it manually after it comes off of the Cricut machine, but you could do that at this time. So now I am going to use my maker and I am going to click make it. So we can see that everything looks great, and I will need that larger mat. We don't want to mirror anything. We are ready to make this. And so we're going to click continue. So now we're going to go ahead and send this to our printer. Remember that you will need a printer that prints these really large sizes. And also remember, when you connect your machine, it will want you to calibrate print and cut once again with these new features. So I'm going to go ahead and print this, calibrate my machine, and let's take a look at how this works on the maker. So I went ahead and ran my calibration. I did want to note that the calibration sheet, at least as of this filming of this video, is the same as it was before. So I did calibrate twice. So again, be sure to leave time for the calibration when you change over to this. So then I have my sheet printed, and you want to be sure to put it on the mat in the same orientation as it's showing in Cricut Design Space. And then I'm going to press it down onto the mat well. And I did add bleed around this, so we should be left with an edge all the way around. So we'll go ahead and load the mat. And then press go to cut. It will check in each corner for the registration marks. Then once it's done checking, it will cut. Now let's take a look at these cuts. Here's my full-size cut piece, and I'm just going to peel back this excess so we can see that everything looks great with the cuts around this super large print. So now that we have the excess removed, I'm going to flip it over and then remove our project from the mat. And then, like I said, just to make it easy, I'm going to add the score lines. I just have my stylus in my hand, and I'm just going to use a ruler and just kind of score the paper a little bit, just so I get the folds exactly right. Now that I have my score lines, I've got some glue dots, and I'm just going to fold my box. And so now, with this larger print and cut, I can make a really large gift box with my Cricut machine, and I'm no longer restricted to super small gift boxes. So I'm just going to tape this one up with some glue dots, and then we'll take a look at the final project. And there we have a completed gift box, all with our Cricut machine and the larger print and cut size. All right, super large print and cut. I'm sure everyone is super excited about this. Just remember, don't get confused about how there are maximums, but they're only on the very sides and like the middle of the top and bottom. Those corners will need to be in a little bit, in order to have room for the registration marks in all 4 corners. So as you saw, Design Space will tell you the maximum, and it will automatically resize your image to the maximum it can make it without distorting the image. If you want to distort the image, you can play around with the sizes. Hit that unlock button, just start playing around with it to see just how large you can make it. Now, if you have a project like this one that is not in the corners, you can make it to the maximum sizes that I noted in this video. If, however, your print goes into the corners, it will be slightly smaller as your maximum size. So just always note that, but know that Cricut Design Space has you covered, and they will tell you the maximum that they can make your particular project without any distortion. So now all that's left for you to do is to grab that large format printer or your regular printer and start printing larger sizes right in Cricut Design Space and see how you like it. Now remember, when you give this a try, be sure to give yourself extra time. You will need to recalibrate your machine. So when I did it, I had to recalibrate twice. So first of all, there's like a basic recalibration, and then there's a fine-tuning calibration. So you will probably have to at least run through it twice. So keep that in mind, save some extra time. However, I was super impressed with the results of this one and so happy there are improvements to Print Then Cut. If you are as well, drop down, leave me a comment. If you have any questions about anything we covered, feel free to ask those in the comment section below. Be sure to grab that file for the box, and I will have that in the description below this video as well. If you're on computer, scroll down and click Show More. If you're on mobile, swipe up on the video or click the arrow to expand the description. If you like this video, of course, we always love a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.